Hey guys! Oh my god, I miss saying that so much. First of all, sorry, I have been so busy and I've not made any video. I've not posted any videos related to Ireland in the past 4 months, I guess. I mean, I'm actually visiting my family here in India, and if you're an Indian, you totally understand how many relatives you have to visit, and it's a lot. Anyway, so I thought I'll just make a quick and some useful video regarding Ireland for international students. So in this video, I'm gonna walk through all the Irish visa stamps an international student who's studying in Ireland should know about. I still remember, in the initial days, I was so puzzled and I was so confused because I was like, what is stamp one, what is stamp two, what is stamp four, and what should I do next? It was all so confusing, and I did get inputs from people, but each and every person had their own opinion. And I mean, they did say what I wanted to hear, but it was all so confusing. So I decided to just go to the website, immigration website, and just go through all the stamps and permissions by myself. So in this video, I am gonna walk through each and everything. And if you're planning to get an Irish citizenship, or if you're planning to get a permanent residence here to work in Ireland, then keep watching the video. So without wasting any time, let's just get started. So once you get a student visa to study in Ireland, the first thing you'll be doing is getting an IRP card. And if you don't know what an IRP card or a GNIB card, then I have a separate video which I'll be leaving a link at the end of this video. So do watch that video if you want to know more about IRP or GNIB card. So the first thing you'll be doing on arriving to Ireland is applying to get this card. This card is necessary because you might be asked anywhere to show this card. So just get it as soon as you get here to Ireland. And yeah, in this card, you'll basically have something called as the visa permission, which will be printed on the card. If it is a stamp 2, it will be stamp 2. If it's a stamp 1, it will be stamp 1. That basically says what you're entitled to do in Ireland. So if you're here as a student, so the first stamp you'll be getting is a stamp 2. So on your card it will be listed that you are a stamp 2, and it also lists what you're eligible to do in Ireland as a student. So if you are enrolled to any of the full-time course here in Ireland, then you get this stamp 2 visa, and according to this visa you can work for up to 20 hours in the school year, and you can work for up to 40 hours during the summer and the winter breaks. And in the stamp 2, you'll also have to have a private medical insurance, otherwise you won't be given an IRP card. So you should have a private medical health insurance, and trust me, medical insurance is so important. Otherwise, if you have any emergency, you'll be spending like loads of money to get it fixed or something. So always have a medical insurance. And in this stamp, you can't avail any of the publicly funded services, and including healthcare. So you should have a private medical insurance. Okay, similar to stamp 2, there is another stamp called stamp 2A. This is given to those students who are coming to Ireland to just do one semester, and they're enrolled for the course in some other foreign country, and they'll be finishing their course there, but they're here just for one particular semester, so they are given stamp 2A. So under stamp 2A, you don't have permission to work, and you also need a private medical health insurance. So that is about stamp 2A. So what happens once you finish your studies? So once you're done graduating from your studies, you get a stamp 1G. So basically, if you are graduated from a bachelor's course, then you get stamp 1G for 1 year. And if you're graduated from a master's or any other third level courses, I guess, so you'll be getting stamp 1G for 2 years, which basically means you have permission to work for up to 40 hours in Ireland, and you have to find a job in this amount of time. So basically 1 year for bachelor students and 2 years for masters or any other third level degree students. So you just have to find a job and get an employment permit later. So basically you get 1G, and in 1G you can work for up to 40 hours a week. But still, even for this stamp, you'll need private medical health insurance as well, because even you can't use any of the publicly funded services under stamp 1G as well. And also remember that there is something called as citizenship by naturalization, which basically means you can apply to be an Irish citizen after living in Ireland for a certain amount of days or number of years per se. So or you can get a permanent residence in Ireland after staying in Ireland under particular stamp for up to 5 years, or there's number of days which basically equates to 5 years. So what happens is, once you're on stamp 1G, you can actually start counting from then. So once you get stamp 1G, This, all the duration you cover in stamp 1G will be considered when you're applying for citizenship by naturalization or to get a permanent residence here in Ireland as well. So that is one benefit of stamp 1G. So once you finally get a job, you'll be applying for an employment permit either by yourself or your employer will be applying on your behalf. And once you get an employment permit, you get the next stamp. But there are two different kinds of employment permit you can apply for. It is either general employment permit and the other one is critical skills employment permit, and I have two different videos just talking about that. So if you're looking for the employment permits, do watch that. And also, in certain complicated situations, you'll have to extend your stamp 1G because you've still not got your employment permit approved. So, or there could be other complications as well. So if you are stuck in anywhere there, don't worry, I'm here for your rescue. Haha. Anyways, I have a video for that as well, which basically talks about how to extend stamp 1G in those complicated situations. So again, I'll be leaving link to all of that right below in the description, so do check them out if you're looking for them. Moving on, so once you get an employment permit, you'll be renewing your IRP or the GNIB card. So basically, you'll be getting a stamp 1, which means you have an employment permit to work in Ireland. And again, stamp 1 is also considered when you're applying for citizenship by naturalization, or if you want like a permanent residence, it is considered, stamp 1 is considered as well. And again, you still need a private medical health insurance when you're in stamp 1, because again, you can't use any of the publicly funded services. And remember that if you're under critical skills employment permit, if your stamp 1 is under critical skills employment permit, then after 2 years you can be upgrading your stamp, if that is what we are calling it. And if you're on general employment permit, then you'll have to wait for 5 years in order to move to the next stamp. And also remember that if you're on stamp 1, you should have an employment permit. Without an employment permit, you can't work in Ireland if you're on stamp 1. Okay, so the final step in order for you to apply for an Irish citizenship or to get a permanent residence in Ireland is getting a stamp 4. So once you have finished 2 years under critical skills employment permit stamp 1, or once you have finished 5 years in stamp 1 under general employment permit, then you can apply for stamp 4. And the benefits of stamp 4 is basically you no longer need any employment permit to work in Ireland. You can keep switching your jobs without having an employment permit, and I think that is great. And also this is one step closer to applying for citizenship and also to get a permanent residence. And the best part is you can avail all the publicly funded services when you're in stamp 4, which is great. And I'm not sure about this, but I don't think you need a private medical insurance anymore, because you can use all the government services here once you get this stamp 4. And again, in order to apply for citizenship or to get a permanent residence, you'll have to finish 5 years in Ireland. You should be living in Ireland for 5 years under stamp 1G, stamp 1, stamp 4. So all of these is considered. So the first stamp when you're here as a student, that is stamp 2, is not considered when you're applying for citizenship by naturalization or to get a permanent residence. Well, so that is all the stamp permissions you have to know if you're an international student in Ireland. I hope that gave you kind of a clear picture of what comes after what and what stamp you'll need and what stamp is required in order to get a citizenship or in order to get a permanent residence. If you have liked the video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button right there, and again, subscribe, share, like, whatever, the usual. Anyways, I know you guys, some of you guys have left in the comments asking me to make videos on certain things, and I promise I'll get there. I just need some time, so I'll be seeing you guys very soon in my next video. So until then, take care. Bye.